Hi and welcome back to Classic MGB. Now today we're at one of the two biggest classic car shows in the UK. There's one in November, which is the Classic Car Show, and there's one in March, it's the Restoration Show. So there's a lot more kind of going on about doing work to cars and that kind of thing. But I've got an aim today. I want to see every single MGB there is. So I better get going. Now, a lot of you will have heard of Polybushes. They are probably the most popular upgrade to MGB suspension. And I've managed to catch up with the design engineer from Polybush, Greg. So Greg, tell me about Polybush. What's special about Polybush?
So Polybush has been running, God knows how many years now. Probably as long as I've been alive, to be honest. We've covered British sports cars for all that time, and it's been a main core of our business. We upgrade, everything on the car you can think of. And polyurethane has been a winner for all our customers. It's a fit and forget product. Once you've fitted it, you never need to worry about it. So that is our main goal, sorting out people's problems, just making sure they can go away and drive in peace and happy, basically what you want.
So I'm fascinated to know, what are the design challenges with designing bushes for a car that, I take the MGB is, designed 60 years ago or something?
Yeah, so it's very difficult. So when you start looking at it, especially in older cars, tolerances are a bit, looser than it is nowadays. So that's probably one of the first big challenges. You go on, firstly, is it square? Does it match up? Let's take an original part, make sure it is actually original equipment. So last thing we want to take is a cheap aftermarket alternative, which is slightly different. So then we start looking at, what does the customer actually need from it? What do they want? If it's a comfort, if it's a performance. So that's why we, on all of our MGB stuff, we do a comfort grade and we do a performance grade. All just depend on what the customer is going to be using the car for. If it's just touring, taking it to classic car shows, racing it, we cover all of it. So again, it's all just based on what does the customer need, what do they want. Make sure it's firstly easy to fit for them, if they're doing it themselves or they've got it in a garage, and just go from there, basically.
And why would I've got a classic MGB, it's got rubber bushes at the moment. Yeah. Why would I change to Polybush?
So when you start then looking at rubber, you'll probably, the first thing you'll notice underneath, they're starting to perish, starting to crack. They've obviously went soft over the years as well. So you basically want to take it back to a factory fresh feel to keep your alignment straight again, just to get that, feel of what you could probably remember of what it was, 40, 50 years ago. So we basically want to push that out there and say, these are going to outlast the car. That's the intention, basically. You're going to fit and forget about them, while also basically making everything tight, stiff again, so you've got better steering response. Everything's just going to ride as it should. But still, if you go for the comfort grade, you keep it as per, it originally was. You're not compromising any harshness on the road.
So Greg, there's three different grades. It looks like blue, orange and red. So tell me about those.
So our blue grade, we'll start there, is the comfort grade. And it is basically our biggest seller for our classic market. It is basically taking it back to OEM, same hardness as the rubber, but obviously with all the benefits of polyurethane. We then go to our dynamic grade, which we actually class as a best of both worlds. It's just that little bit harder, keeps everything just in shape that bit more. And then our performance grade is really for race cars. So when you're going around the track, you want to make sure everything is in alignment. That's the one to go for.
Excellent. And as design engineer, is there anything you can share with us about kind of new products possibly?
There's always stuff going on. From we get a lot of requests on stuff that physically can't be bought anymore, bits and pieces, so we're always working on things. So at the moment we're looking at engine mounts for different Triumphs and etc. So there's always stuff in the pipes. So.
Now, you've probably noticed this isn't an MGB, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity to sit in the brand new MG Cyberster, not even been launched yet, not been driven by any journalists, but I'm sitting in it. And from where I'm sitting, it's a really nice place to be. Well, as I've managed to get a seat in the Cyberster, I thought I'd better talk to the person responsible. It's Richard, the boss of MGOC. Richard, how's the show? What are you up to?
Well, all sorts of things. What a scoop with the Cyberster. Been bees around a honeypot today on our stand over there. Ian, our workshop managers, I think he's reassembling the pedal box and the heater box, and one of those really fiddly jobs that you think, shall I tackle it? He's putting it back together. It's obviously a customer's car from the workshop, but he's just showing how to do it.
This car is one that's midway through the restoration. This sort of show is more about people doing things than just pretty cars. So this one's halfway through. Bodywork's been done and it's been painted. Later in the year we'll carry on to fit up the engine bay and fit the interior.
So roughly from a barn find to the finished car, roughly how long is that going to take? You're going to say how long's a piece of string, but roughly how long?
How long's a piece of string? I mean, the way that we work it is we'll tend to get the bodywork done and then it'll sit for a while and then it'll come back down to do the mechanical stuff. In total, it's about 3 months to 4 months. But I do make it clear to people at the beginning, at the day I give you the keys back, it's probably going to cost you about £15,000 more than the car is worth. But if you're not selling it and you're not interested in that, it doesn't matter. It's your car, you want to have it done. That's what we do.
We're launching today a brand new insurance scheme with Adrian Flux, and they're on an adjacent stand, and there's lots of good benefits in this scheme, especially tailored for MG Owners Club members, youngsters, right the way through to our senior members will be able to get cover. There's all sorts of other benefits, which I'm sure they'll perhaps allude to, but exciting times and real benefits for the members.
So after talking to Richard at the MG Owners Club, I had to catch up with Adrian Flux, and I've got Nick Wilkinson with me, who is in charge of the MG Owners Club scheme. Nick, tell me a bit about the scheme.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of originated out of nowhere, really. I mean, one of our top guys got in a meeting with Richard and David, and we kind of had a chat, and we kind of got our foot in the door then, and we kind of just listened to the guys at MG, kind of just seeing what they were missing and what kind of we have to offer, and just to kind of create a bespoke scheme that is just second to none for the members. And I think that's what we've created, hopefully, and that's what we're launching at the show this weekend.
I'm with the existing suppliers. So what are the kind of key things that you're offering as part of your package?
So with ourselves, we want to give the members the best benefits. So the first kind of main benefits we offer them is member-to-member cover. So each member that have got an MG, you can drive another member's MG, fully comprehensive, all within the policy. Excess protect as well, so we offer £300 of excess protection for each member. Again, no charge, all part of the scheme. Obviously the agreed valuations is done through the professional guys at the club. Normally we would do these in-house, but obviously with MG Owners Club knowing a far lot more than we probably do regarding MGs, as we'll leave it in a much more capable hands. Salvage retention is another big important benefit for the members, so just kind of a nice idea or reassurance really that if anything was to happen to the vehicle, if there was anything salvageable, we are happy for the members to keep that. I mean, I think the main thing really, I think cost is a big thing for a lot of people at the moment. So as a kind of, at least to start with, we're happy to offer to guarantee any renewal for any member. So for yourself, if your renewal's coming up, we'll guarantee to beat it by £25. And that's a guarantee.
It might be worth me changing. In fact, the other thing I noticed, and I do a few track days in my MGB, as our viewers will know, and you're offering track day cover.
Exactly, yeah. So for the members as well, we've offered to sponsor the championship as well. So it's kind of, happy to offer the members any kind of pre-arranged track days through the club. Yeah, any members, we're happy to cover you on there as well.
Now, one of the things I've heard is that for young drivers and for older drivers, which is a lot of our viewership, insurance was becoming more difficult. What can you do to sort of address that?
Yeah, I mean, we've been proud to not have an age cap, especially on the senior side, as we hear really from other insurers out there. So what we've done, we're happy to have no cap on there. Again, it's down to more discretion from ourselves, as long as they're perfectly healthy, mentally healthy, and a lot of the times they are. But we're younger drivers as well. Obviously, to keep owners clubs going, it starts from the younger members as well. So we're trying to push on the younger drivers as well. We have markets, even provisional licenses, first year insurance. We're happy to cover as much as possible, and cover as many members as possible, really.
Having done lots of chatting and looking at lots of cars, I thought it was time to have a better look around the Autojumble. Now, one of the things that's really good is when you see youngsters getting involved in the classic car scene. And I've caught up with the Oxford University's Motorsport Foundation. It's Tom Reed, and they've actually got an MGB. Tom, tell me a bit more about this MGB.
So this was donated to the foundation earlier this year. It has had a lot of work on it. The guy who owned it really, really cared about it. There was just a couple of things that weren't quite right that needed tweaking, fixing. Fuel tank was just full of rubbish. But it's a really, really special car. First of all, he's switched out the Siamese head for a crossflow, which is just so much better on this car. And then he's gone and put a very, very expensive set of Webcon fuel injection carburetors on there, and it just makes the whole engine fantastic. It had a few problems when we got it. The bottom end, the bearings were completely just messed up. So that's actually a different block. We actually took one of our racing blocks, 1860 FIA spec, and that's on there now. So it just really, really runs sweet as a nut. It's got a proper racing bottom end, so in a road car it just feels amazing. And because of the fuel injection, it just pulls from the bottom end fantastically. So it's a really, really special car.
And are you doing this as part of your course, or is that free time stuff?
Yeah, so we are completely unfunded by the universities. We're an independent organisation, and it was set up because there was a complete lack of practical skills through the university course. So people were getting into industry and not having these hands-on skills and this common sense in a workshop. And so this was set up. We go racing, we do projects like this that are road cars, and it just gives people who don't necessarily have that opportunity to get hands-on and get used to working in that environment.
The thing I like about it, though, is it's proper engineering. It's not plug a computer in and it gives you a code. This is proper nuts and bolts engineering. And I guess as a youngster, that's something quite unusual.
Yeah, well, that's why we do these classics, because for getting your basics there, they're brilliant because you can see how everything works. It's all very simple. And then once you've got that down, then you can start leveling up and doing all the more complex fuel injection and all the complicated electronics on a modern car. So as a basis to start learning, there's really nothing better than classics.
And what is it about the MGB in particular that's special, do you think?
I mean, it's just iconic, isn't it? It's a British sports car. You don't get much better. They made so many of these, and every single one that is still around has been cared for and is slightly different. And it's just, I mean, look at them as well. They are just beautiful. They are just absolutely beautiful.
As one of the most popular classics, there was no shortage of MGBs at the show, with about 5 up for sale at the classic car auction. The MG Car Club were out in force, with most of the registers well represented, including the MGB register that featured Neil Brandt's lovely GT, polished to within an inch of its life. Another MGB on the stand was this FIA race-prepared Roadster. Now, if you've got an MGB, you might fancy taking on a track, and a MG's on track day is quite an effective way of doing that. But what if you fancy racing? Well, one thing you could do would be to hire an MGB from Woolmer Classic Engineering, and I'm with Richard Woolmer. Richard, tell me more about it.
as part of Woolmer Classic Engineering, we have a rental scheme. So we've got an MGB and we've also got a Mark 1 Escort, which you can either hire for a track day or take proper racing, providing you got your license. It's a great way of kind of dipping your toe in the water on historic racing without actually committing to buying your own car and getting all the kit and all that kind of stuff. So it's just a great way of having a go and seeing if you enjoy it.
So I could pay you a certain amount of money, I turn up at a track, you turn up with the car and with a mechanic or somebody to manage the car and look after the car, and I could just drive it.
Exactly that. So as part of the day, we provide a technician, we provide lunch, a nice warm space, so what the English weather's like. It can be absolutely horrendous. So nice warm space, nice lunch, come out for the day, bring a couple of friends with you if you wanted to, and just have fun and see if it's something you want to do going forwards.
Now, as this was the Classic Restoration Show, there were several barn finds on display, the kind that just lend themselves to a restoration. So let's say you fancy getting an MGB from Facebook Marketplace. You can spend $1,000, but it's likely that it'll need quite a lot of restoration. And of course, you could do that yourself. Most people might not want to take that sort of level of restoration on, so you can turn to a specialist company. And I'm actually with one of those right now. I'm with Joe Wilson from Wilson&Co. Classic Car Restoration. Joe, tell me about the company.
So we do restoration of classic cars for customers. We have a lot of ranges of budgets that come to us and a lot of different walks of life. It's so very interesting, and we do so many different variations of cars that are out there, really. I mean, I can do all of these sports cars really quite well, British made, MGs, Triumphs, that's sort of my game. That's where my passion lies, but my colleague, he's quite into his American stuff. So we really have this huge range of cars that we can actually restore and bring back to the former glory that they once had or have always had, really.
If I brought a barn find to you, you told me this barn find was bought for $1,000 or whatever it was on Facebook Marketplace, roughly how much does it take to get it up to a usable condition?
But in this scenario, it was a £1,000 Facebook Marketplace find. It was on a very famous MG selling page, so anyone can find them. They are out there. It's just the market for the MGs, especially at the moment, is really changing, and it's becoming so much more valuable to get in and buy now, especially. So what we would do is we'd recommend that you sort of buy in maybe if you go for the £1,000 bracket, you might be looking at more sort of your bodywork sort of stuff that could maybe a bit unexpected. But if you go for your sort of your £2,000, your £3,000 to £5,000 bracket, then obviously from that you have a very good example of a car that then you can improve upon. The Roadsters are even more like this, where if you have your £5,000 very nice example to improve upon, and you then spend another £6,000 or so, you're up to 14-15 grand into that hole, which seems like a lot of money, but with the way the market's going at the moment, it's really, it's going up so much that the cars, when they're finished, I mean, by our quality standards at least, they are worth those sorts of figures that you'd expect, 18, 19 grand, 20 grand. I've had offers actually today, even though the car's not for sale, bless, but it's they are really getting up that way these days, so that's what I would say is worth doing.
Excellent. And you do the bodywork, the mechanicals, you do the whole lot?
We do the bodywork, we do the mechanicals, we do the chroming, we do the trimming, which we've actually just won an award for as of late, which is super exciting in the Business Awards 2024. And I mean, it's easier to list off what we can't do, but I'm sure there'll be some sort of list shown at some point that you can see from our website at least, yes.
So that's it. A day at the Practical Classics Classic Restoration Show at the NEC. And it's been a great day. 9,000 steps later, it's the first time I've sat down. We've seen lots and lots of MGBs, talked to lots of interesting people, and do you know what? I haven't bought very much today. In fact, the only thing I've bought is this Bulldog BDX. Now, for those of you that don't know what it is, it's worth a look. It's kind of like WD-40 on steroids. If you've got bolts that need freeing up, that's the stuff to have. So well worth buying that. You can only buy it direct from them and one or two distributors. Anyhow, if you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, a share, subscribe to the channel and click the bell for notifications. That would be great. I'm off home now, so as always, thanks for watching and take care.